Namaste. So tonight we're going to read the 9th book, chapter 1, under the description of Prakriti, the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratu Namaha Kaya Kuri Suri. Hariom Tat Sat. Sri Narayana said, the highest Prakriti is recognized as fivefold. When she is engaged in the work of creation, she appears as Durga, the mother of Ganesha, Radha, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Savitri. Narada replied, O thou the best of Jnanins, who is this Prakriti? Whether she is of the nature of intelligence or of matter? Why did she manifest herself, and then again, why did she reveal herself in these five forms? And what are her characteristics? Now thou oughtest to describe the lives of all, the different modes of their worship, and the fruits that are accrued thereby. Please also inform me which forms of them manifested themselves in which different places. Dost thou please narrate to me all these? Narayana said, O child, who is there in this world that can describe fully the characteristics of Prakriti? However, I will describe to you that much which I heard from my own father, Dharma. Here, the prefix pra and the word Prakriti means exalted, superior, excellent, and the affix kriti denoted creation. So the goddess, the Devi, who is the most excellent in the work of creation, is known as the Devi Prakriti. To come closer, pra signifies the sattva guna, the most exalted quality, kri denotes the rajaguna, and ti denotes the tamaguna. The sattva guna is considered as the highest, as it is perfectly clear and free from any impurities whatsoever. The rajaguna is considered intermediate, as it has this defect, that it spreads a veil over the reality of things, so as not to allow men to understand the true reality, while the tamaguna is considered worse, as it completely hides the real knowledge. So when this intelligence of the nature of Brahma, beyond the three attributes, gets tinged with the above three gunas and becomes omnipotent, then she is superior, pradhana, in the work of creation. Hence she is styled as Prakriti. O child Narada, the state just preceding that of creation is denoted by pra, and kri signifies creation. So the great Devi that exists before creation is called Prakriti of the creation. The Paramatma, by his yoga, i.e. Maya Shakti, the Holy Ghost, divided himself into two parts, the right side, of which was male, and the left side was the female Prakriti. Note, the Holy Ghost is the principle of conception and emanation, creation. So the Prakriti is of the nature of Brahma. She is eternal, and the fire and its burning power are not different. So there is no separate distinction between Atman and his Shakti, between Purusha and Prakriti. Therefore, those that are foremost and the highest of the yogis do not recognize a difference between a male and a female. All is Brahman, He is everywhere as male and female forever. There is nothing in this world that can exist for a moment, even without this Brahman, consisting of male and female, i.e., they are Brahman with Maya manifested. Out of the will of Sri Krishna to create the world, whose will is all in all, came out at once the Mula Prakriti, the great Devi, Isvari, the lady control of the universe, Brahma, with Maya in a state of equilibrium. By her command came out 5 forms of her, either for the purpose of creation or for bestowing favor and grace to the bhaktas, devotees. Durga, the mother of Ganesha, comes as the first, the most auspicious, loved by Shiva. She is Narayani, Vishnu Maya, and of the nature of Purna Brahma, the supreme Brahma. This eternal, all-auspicious Devi is the presiding deity of all the Devas and is therefore worshipped and praised by Brahma and the other Devas, Munis and Manus. This Bhagavati Durga Devi, when she gets pleased, destroy all the sorrows, pains and troubles of the bhaktas that have taken her refuge, and gives them dharma, everlasting name and fame, all auspicious things and bliss, and all the happiness, nay, the final liberation. She is the greatest refuge of these bhaktas that come to her wholly for protection and are in great distress, whom she saves from all their dangers and calamities. In fact, know this Durga Devi as verily the presiding deity of the heart of Krishna and as his highest Shakti, of the nature of the holy fire and the holy light. She is omnipotent and resides always with Krishna. The great God, she is worshipped by all the Siddha Purusas, those that have attained success. The 18 Siddhis all go to her, and when pleased, she gives whatever Siddhis success that her bhaktas want. The great Devi is the intelligence, sleep, hunger, thirst, shadow, drowsiness, fatigue, kindness, memory, caste, forbearance, errors, peace, beauty, and consciousness, contentment, nourishment, prosperity, and fortitude. She is sung in the Vedas and in other sastras as the Mahamaya of the nature of the universe. In reality, she is the all-Shakti of the universe, and she is the Shakti of Krishna. All these qualities are also mentioned in the Vedas. What is mentioned here is a Tithi merely. In comparison to that of the Vedas, she has infinite qualities. Now here, of other Shaktis. The second Shakti of the Paramatman is named Padma Lakshmi. She is of the nature of Shuddha Sattva, higher than Sattva Guna, and is Krishna's presiding deity of all wealth and prosperity. This very beautiful Lakshmi Devi is the complete master of the senses. She is of a very peaceful temper, of good mood, and all auspicious. She is free from greed, delusion, lust, anger, vanity, and egoism. She is devoted to her husband and to her bhaktas. Her words are very sweet, and she is very dear to her husband. Indeed, the life and soul of him. This Devi is residing in all the grains and vegetables, and so she is the source of life of all the beings. She is residing in Vaikuntha as Mahalakshmi, chaste and always in the service of her husband. She is the heavenly Lakshmi residing in the heavens, and the royal Lakshmi in palaces, and the Griha Lakshmi in the several families of several householders. O Narada, all the lovely beauty that you see in all the living beings and all the things, it is she. She is the glory and fame of those that have done good and pious works, and it is she that is the prowess of the powerful kings. She is the trade of merchants, the mercy of the saints, engaged in doing good to others, and the seed of dissensions in those sinful and vicious persons, as approved of in the Vedas. She is worshipped by all, reverenced by all. Now I will describe to you about the third Shakti of the great God, who is the presiding deity of knowledge, speech, intelligence, and learning. This third Shakti is named Saraswati. She is all the learning of this endless universe, and she resides as Meda, intelligence, in the hearts of all the human beings. She is the power in composing poetry. She is the memory, and she is the great wit, light, splendor, and inventive genius. She gives the power to understand the real meaning of the various difficult Siddhanta works. She explains and makes us understand the difficult passages, and she is the remover of all doubts and difficulties. She acts when we write books, when we argue and judge, when we sing songs of music. She is the time of measure in music. She holds balance and union in vocal and instrumental music. She is the goddess of speech. She is the presiding deity in the knowledge of various subjects, in argumentations and disputations. In fact, all the beings earn their livelihood by taking recourse in her. She is peaceful and holds in her hands veena, lute, and books. Her nature is purely sattvic, Shuddha sattva, modest and very loving to Srihari. Her color is white, like ice-clad mountains, like that of the white sandal, like that of the kunda flower, like that of the moon, of white lotus. She always repeats the name of Paramatma Shri Krishna while she turns her bead composed of jewels. Her nature is ascetic. She is the bestower of the fruits of the asceticism, of the ascetics. She is the siddhi and vidya of all. She grants always success to all. Were she not here, the whole host of Brahmins would always remain speechless like the dead cluster of persons. What is recited in the Vedas as the third Devi is the holy word, the third Shakti, Saraswati. Thus I have described her. Now hear the glories of the other Devi in accordance with the Vedas. She is the mother of the four colors, castes, the origin of the six Vedangas, the limbs of the Vedas, and all the Chandas, the seed of all the mantrams of Sandhya, Vandanam, and the root, the seed of the Tantras. She herself is versed in all the subjects, herself an ascetic. She is the tapas of the Brahmins. She is the tejas, fire, and the caste of the Brahmin caste, and embodies in herself all sorts of samskaras, tendencies, inclinations. She is the japam, pure, known by the names of Savitri and Gayatri. She resides always in the Brahma Loka, the sphere of Brahma, and is such as all the sacred places of pilgrimages want her touch for the purification. Her color is perfectly white like the pure crystal. She is purely Shuddha Sattva, of the nature of the highest bliss. She is eternal and superior to all. She is of the nature of Parabrahma and is the bestower of moksha. She is the fairy Shakti and is the presiding deity of the Brahma Teja, the fairy spirit of Brahma, and the Brahmanas. The holy world is purified by the touch of whose feet this Savitri Devi is the fourth Shakti. O child Narada, now I'll describe to you about the fifth Shakti, the Devi Radhika. Here, she is the presiding deity of the five pranas. She herself is the life of all, dearer than life even to Shri Krishna. And she is highly more beautiful and superior to all the other Prakriti Devis. She dwells in everything. She is very proud of her good fortune, subhagyam. Her glory is infinite, and she is the wife, the left body, as it were, of Shri Krishna, and she is not in any way inferior to him, either in quality or in the tejas, fairy spirit, or in any other thing. She is higher than the highest, the essence of all, infinity, superior, the first of all, eternal, of the nature of the highest bliss, fortunate, highly respected, and worshipped by all. She is the presiding Devi of the Rasa Leela of Shri Krishna. From her has sprung the Rasa Mandalam, and she is the grace and the ornament of the Rasa Mandalam that dance in a circle in the Rasa. Note extracts from a paper on creation as explained by Honorable Justice Sri G. Woodruff. The lecture commenced by pointing out that an examination of any doctrine of creation reveals two fundamental concepts, those of being katastha and becoming bhava, changelessness, and change, the one and many. The Brahman or spirit in its own nature, swarupa, is and never becomes. It is the evolutes derived from the principle of becoming mulapakriti, which constitute what is called nature. The latter principle is essentially movement. The world is displayed by consciousness, chit, in association with mula prakriti in cosmic vibration, spandana. Recent Western hypotheses have made scientific matter into maya in the sense that it is but the varied appearances produced in our mind by vibration of and in the single substance either. The doctrine of vibration, spandana, is however in India an ancient inheritance. The whole world is born from the varied forms of the initial movement in Mula Prakriti. The problem is, how does such multiplicity exist without derogation to the essential unit of its efficient cause? The spirit. The lecture that made a rapid survey of the Sankhya philosophy on this point, which assumes two real and independent principles of being and becoming, which is called Purusa and Prakriti, and passed from this the easiest dualistic answer to the pure monoism of Shankara, which asserted that there was but one principle of being, the Sadvastu and Maya, whether considered as a Shakti of Isvara or as the product of such Shakti, was a Vastu or nothing. He then pointed out that the Tantric doctrine with which he dealt occupied a middle portion between those 2 points of view. Siva in the Kunalnava Tantra says, some desire monoism, Advaitya-vada, others dualism, Dvaita-vada. Such, however, know not my truth, which is neither monoism nor dualism. Dvaitad-vaitya vivarjita. Tantra is not Dvaita-vada, for it does not recognize Prakriti as an independent unconscious principle, Achit. It differs from Shankara's Avaitavara in holding that Prakriti as a conscious principle of becoming, that is as Shakti, is not a Vastu. Though its displayed picture, the world is Maya, it effects a synthesis of the Sankhya dualism by the conversion of the twin principles of Purusa and Prakriti into the unity, which is the Ardhanavishvara Shiva Shakti. Ardhanavishvara Shiva Shakti. As regards other matters, it adopts the notions of the Sankhya, such as the concepts of Mula Prakriti, which the three gunas, vibration, spandana, evolution, parinama, and the vikritis, and the order of emanation of the tattvas, Shakti, which effects this, exists and is herself never unconscious, a chit, though it has the power to make the jiva think it is such. If this were understood, one would not hear such nonsense as that the Shaktas, whose religion is one of the oldest in the world, worship material force or gross matter, Gyada. The lecture then shortly explained the nature of Shakti, Shakti Tattva, a term which derived from the root Sakt, means the divine power whereby the word was created, manifested and destroyed. In Tantra, the power of the Lord who wields it, Shaktiman, are one and the same. Shiva and Shakti are one and the same. Shiva is Brahman, Shakti is Brahman. The first is the transcendent. The second, the eminent aspect of the one Brahman, who is both Shiva and Shakti. The mother creates Karya Vibhavani. The father wills what she does, Karya Vibhavaka. From their union, creation comes. Shakti is not like the diminutive female figure which is seen on the lap of some Indian images, to which is assigned a subordinate position which some persons consider a Hindu wife should occupy. She is not a handmaid of the Lord, but the Lord himself in her aspect as mother of the worlds. The Shakti is both Nirguna and Saguna, that is Chit Shakti and Maya Shakti. After this defining the nature of Shakti by which the world was created, the lecturer commenced an account of its manifestation as the universe, following in the main the Sarada Tilaka, written in the 11th century by Lakshmana Charya, the guru of the celebrated Kashmiran Tantric Abhinava Gupta. The following is a very abbreviated summary of this, the main portion of the paper. The lecturer first referred to the Aghana Vasta state, which was the Niskala Shiva, and touching upon the question why Shiva became Sakala, associated with Kala, and creative, explained the term Kala and the theory of Adrista Sristi, thought by the Tantra as by other Sastras. The former is according to Sankhya, Mula Prakriti according to Vedanta, Avedya, and according to the Shiva Tantra Shakti. The latter is the doctrine that the impulse to creation is proximately caused by the karma of the jivas. It is the seed of karma which contains the germ of cosmic will to life. When karma becomes ripe, there arises the state called Iksana and other names indicative of creative desire and will. There then takes place a development which is peculiar to the Tantra called Sadrisa Parinama, which is a kind of vivarta. The development is only apparent, for there is no real change in the Ananda Maya Kosha. Shakti, which exists in Sakala Shiva in a purely potential state, is said to issue from him. This is the first kinetic aspect of Shakti in which Sataguna is displayed. This is the Paramaka Savasta Nada sound word then appears. Shakti becomes further kinetic through the enliving of the Rajaguna. This is the Aksara Vasta. Then, under the influence of Tamas, Isvara becomes Gyanibhuta and what is called the Paravindu. This is the Avyakta Vastu. Avyakta Vasta. Thus the supreme Vindu men call by different names: Mahavishnu, Brahma, Purusa, or Devi. It is compared to a grain of gram, which under its sheath contains two seeds in undivided union. These are Shiva Shakti, and their encircling sheath is Maya. This Vindu unfolds and displays itself in the threefold aspect of Vindu, Vija, Nada, or Shiva Shakti, and Shiva Shakti. The three Shaktis of will, knowledge, and action. This is the mysterious Kama Kala, which is the root of all the mantras. These seven, Sakala, Shiva, Shakti, Nada, Paravindu, Vindu, Vija, Nada, are all aspects of Shakti, which are the seven divisions of the mantra Om and constitute what is called the creation of Para sound in the Isvara creation. The lecturer, having explained the nature of these Shaktis which form part of the sound Sabda, Sabrisa, Parinama, referred to the form or meaning Artha creation in the same development by the appearance of the six Shivas from Shambhu to Brahma, which were aggregate samasti, sound powers. It was, he said, on the differentiation of the Paravindu that there existed the completed causal sabda, which is the hidden word, the causal body or parasabda, and artha being complete. There then appeared the displayed word or sabdartha. This is a composite like the Greek logos. The sabda Brahman or Brahman is as cause of sabda is the Chaitanya in all beings. The Sabdartha in the Vedantin Namarupa or world of name and form of this Sabdartha, the subtle and gross bodies are constituted, the Shaktis of which are the Hiranyagarbha sound called Madhyama and the Virat sound Vekkari. By Sabda is not meant merely physical sound, which as a quality of atomic ether is evolved from tamasic ahamkara. The lecturer then pointed out that there had been adrista shristi up to the appearance of Shakti and vivarta development up to the completion of the word or causal sound. Then there takes place real evolution, parinama, in which the tattvas or elements discovered as a result of psychological analysis of our worldly experience are said to emanate according to the Sankhya and not the Vedantic scheme, though there were some peculiarities in the Tantric exposition which the lecturer noted. Finally, Yogika Srishti was accepted in so far as it was the elements which in varied combinations made up the gross world. In conclusion, the lecturer pointed out that Indian Sastra was a mutually connected whole. Such peculiarities as existed in any particular Sastra were due to a variety of standpoints or purpose in view. The main point in this connection to be remembered was that the Tantra was practical sadhana sastra, whilst Sankara dealt with the subject from the standpoint of Jnanakanda. The Tantra treated it from the point of view of worship, Upasana Kanda. The Tantric doctrine is compounded of various elements, some of which is shared with other sastras, some of which are its own, the whole being set forth according to a method and terminology which is particular to itself. As we continue, she is the lady of the Rasa Lila, the foremost of the jovial, humorous, witty persons, and dwells always in the rasa. Her abode is in Golaka, and from her have come out all the gopikas. Rasa, the circular dance of Krishna, and the cow herdess of Vrindavana. Her nature is the highest bliss, the highest contentment, and excessive joy. She transcends the three sattva, raja, and tamagunas and is nirakara, without any particular form. But she dwells everywhere but unconnected with any. She is the soul of all. She is without any effort to do anything and void of ahamkara. She assumes forms only to show her favor to her bhaktas. The intelligent, learned men, pandits, read her Mahima, glories, in meditating on her according to the Vedas. The chief of the Devas and the Munis could never see her. Her clothings are fireproof, and she is decorated with many ornaments all over her body. Her body looks as if the crores of moons have risen all at once. She is the giver of bhakti, devotion towards Krishna, services towards Krishna, and she bestows all wealth and prosperity. In Varaha Kalpa, i.e., when the Varaha incarnation took place, she incarnated herself as the daughter of one Gopa cowherd named Vrisabhanu, and earth was blessed by the touch of her feet. She is such as Brahma and the other devas could never perceive her by any of their senses, yet everyone at Vrindavan saw her very easily. She is the gem amongst women, and when she is seen on the breast of Krishna, it seems that lightnings flash in the blue mass of clouds in the sky. In days gone by, Brahma practiced several austerities for 60,000 years to purify himself by seeing the nails of her toes. But far from seeing that, he could not have that even in his dreams. At last, he succeeded in seeing her at Vrindavana and became blessed. O child Narada, this is the fifth Prakriti, and she is denominated as Radha. Every female in every universe is sprung from a part of Sri Radha, or part of a part. O Narada, thus I have described to you the five highest Prakritis, Durga and others. Now I am going to describe those that are parts of these Prakritis. Here, The Ganges, Ganga, has sprung from the lotus feet of Vishnu. Her form is fluid-like, she is eternal, and she is the veritable burning fire to burn away the sins of the sinners. She is sweet to touch in taking baths and in drinking. She gives final liberation to the jivas and leads easily to the Goloka abode. She is the holiest amongst the places of pilgrimage and is the first of the running rivers. She is the rows of pearls and the clotted hairs of Mahadeva's head, and she is the tapasya, asceticism, incarnate of the tapasvis, ascetics of the Bharatavarsa. The Ganges purifies the three worlds and is the part of Mula Prakriti. She shines like the full moon, is white like white lotus, and like milk. She is pure, Shuddha Sattva, clear, free from any ahamkara, chaste and beloved of Narayana. The Tulasi Devi is the consort of Vishnu. She is the ornament of Narayana and dwells always in the lotus feet of Narayana. By her are performed all the acts of worship, all austerities, and all sankalpas, resolves. She is the chief of all the flowers, holy, and able to give merits, punyam, to others. At her sight and touch, nirvana can be obtained. And were it not for her, there could not be other fire in this Kali Yuga to burn the sins. She herself is of the nature of fire, and of the touch of whose lotus feet the earth is purified. All the tirthas desire to have her sight and touch for purification, and without her all acts in this world becomes fruitless. She bestows moksha, liberation, to those who want final liberation, grants all sorts of desires to several people, who herself is like of Kalpa Vriksa, who is the presiding deity of all the trees in Bharata, and who has come here to grant satisfaction to the ladies of Bharata Varsa, and she is considered very superior throughout all parts of India. This Tulasi Devi is the chief factor of Mula Prakriti. Then comes the Manasa Devi, the daughter of Keshapa. She is the dear disciple of Shankara and is therefore very learned in matters of sastras. She is the daughter of Ananta Deva, the lord of snakes, and is very much respected by all the Nagas. She herself is very beautiful, the lady of the Nagas, the mother of the Nagas, and is carried by them. She is decorated with ornaments of the snakes. She is respected by the Nagendras, and she sleeps on the bed of snakes. She is Siddha Yogini, the devotee of Vishnu, and always ready in the worship of Vishnu. She is the tapas and the bestower of the fruits of tapas. Herself an ascetic, she spent 3 lakh years according to the Deva measure, and has become the foremost of the ascetics in Bharatvarsa. She is the presiding deity of all the mantras. Her whole body shines with Brahma Teja, the holy fire of Brahma. Herself of the nature of Brahma, she again meditates on Brahma. She is sprung from a part of Shri Krishna and the chaste wife of Charat Karu Muni, the mother of Astika, the great Muni. She is the part of Mula Prakriti. O child Narada, now comes the Sasti Devi, the mother of Devasena. She is the most superior amongst the Gaudi and the 16 Matrikas. This chaste woman is the giver of sons and grandsons in the 3 worlds, and the nurse, the foster mother of all. She is the 6th part of Mula Prakriti, and is hence known by the name of Sasti. She lives near to every child as an aged yogini. Her worship is everywhere. Prevalent in the 12 months of Vesaka, etc., when the child gets born on the 6th day of her, worship is done in the lying-in chamber, and again on the 21st day. After 20 days have passed away, the most auspicious worship ceremony of her is performed. The Munis bow down to her with reverence and want to visit her daily. She protects all children always with a mother's affectionate heart. This Sasti Devi is again the part of Mula Prakriti. Then appears the Devi Mangala Chandika. She goes from one house to another on land or through water or in air, doing great good to them. She has come out of the face of the Prakriti Devi and is doing always all sorts of good to this world. Her name is Mangala Chandi because she is all auspicious at the time of creation and assumes very furious, angry appearance at the time of destruction. So the Pandits say, on every Tuesday in all the worlds, her worship is done, and she, when pleased, gives the woman sons, grandsons, wealth, prosperity, fame, and good of all sorts, and grants all desires. This Mangala Chandi is again the part of Mula Prakriti. Now comes the lotus-eyed Maheshwari Kali, who, when angry, can destroy all this universe in a moment, who sprang from the forehead of the Mula Prakriti, Durga, to slay the two demons, Shumba and Nishumba. She is the half portion of Durga and qualified like her, fairy and energetic, the beauty and splendor of whose body make one think as if the millions of suns have arisen simultaneously, who is the foremost of all the Shaktis and is more powerful than any of them, who grants success to all the persons, who is superior to all and is of yogic nature, who is exceedingly devoted to Krishna and like him very well qualified and valorous, whose body has become black by the constant meditation of Shri Krishna, who can destroy in one breath this whole Brahmanda, who was engaged in fighting with the Dejas simply for sport and instruction to the people, and who, when pleased in worship, can grant the four fruits, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. This Kali is also the part of Prakriti. The Devi Busundara, earth, is again the part of Mula Prakriti, Brahma, and the other Devas, all the Muni Mandalams, the spears of Munis, 14 Manus, and all men sing hymns to her. She is the support of all and filled with all sorts of grains. She is the source of all gems and jewels. She bears in her womb all the precious metals. All sorts of best things issue from her. She is the refuge of all. The subjects and kings worship her always and chant hymns to her. All the jivas live through her, and she bestows all sorts of wealth and prosperity. Without her, all this moving or non-moving become void of any substratum where to rest on. O child Narada, now hear about them who are issued again from the parts of Mula Prakriti, as well as the names of their wives. I will now narrate duly. The Devi Swaha is the wife of Agni, fire, and the whole universe worships her. Without her, the Devi can never take any oblations. Daksina or Diksa are both the wives of Yajna, sacrifice. They are honored everywhere, so much so that without Dakshina, the fees given at the end of the sacrifice, no sacrificial ceremonies can be complete and fructifying. The Devi Svadha is the wife of the Pitris. All worship this Devi Svadha whether they are munis, manus, or men. If this mantra, svadha, be not uttered while making an offering to the Pitris, all turn out useless. The Devi, Swasti, is the wife of the Vayu Deva. She's honored everywhere in the universe. Without this Swasti, Devi, no giving, no taking, nor any action can be fructifying and useful. Pusti, nourishment, is the wife of Ganapati. All in this world worship this Pusti Devi. Without this Pusti, women or men alike all become weaker and weaker. Tusti, satisfaction, contentment, is the wife of Ananta Deva. She is praised and worshipped everywhere in this world. Without her, no one anywhere in the world can be happy. Sampati is the wife of Isana Deva. The Suras, the men, all alike worship her. Were it not for her, all in this world would be oppressed with dire poverty. The Devi, Dhriti, is the wife of Kapila Deva. She is honored equally in all places. Were it not for her, all the purpose in this world would have become impatient. The Sati Devi is the wife of Satya Deva, truth. She is endearing to the whole world. The liberated ones worship her always. Were it not for the truth-loving Sati, the whole world would have lost the treasure in friendship, daya, mercy. Endearing to the whole world is the chaste wife of Mahadeva. She is liked by all. Were it not for her, all the world would have become hopeless. The Devi, Pratista, fame, celebrity, is the wife of Punya Deva, merit. She gives merits to persons according to their worship. She gives merits to persons according as they worship her. Were it not for her, all the persons would remain dead while living. The Devi, Kriti, fame, is the wife of Sukarma, good works, herself a Siddha, one who has acquired the result of one's success. All the blessed people honor her with great reverence. Were it not for her, all the persons in this world would have been dead, devoid of any fame. Kriya, work, efforts, action, doing, is the wife of Udyoga, enthusiasm. All honor her greatly. O Muni Narada, were it not for her, the whole people would be void of any rules and regulations. Falsehood is the wife of Adharma, unrighteousness. She is honored greatly by all the cheats that are extant in this world. Were she not liked by them, then all the cheats would become extinct. She did not fall in the sight of anybody in the Satya Yuga. Her subtle form became visible in the Treta Yuga. When the Dwapara Yuga came, she became half developed, and at last, when the Kali Yuga has come, she is fully developed, and there is no second to her, whether in bold confidence and shamelessness, or in taking much and pervading everywhere. With her brother deceitfulness, she roams from one house to another. Peace and modesty and shame are both the wives of good behavior. Were they not existent, all in this world would have turned out deluded and mad. Intelligence, genius, and fortitude. These three are the wives of jnana, knowledge. Had they not lived, everyone would become stupid and insane. Murti is the wife of Dharma Devi. She is the nature of beauty to all and very charming. Were it not for her, Paramatman would not get any resting place, and the whole universe would have become Niralamba, without anything to rest. This chaste Murti Devi is of the nature of splendor, loveliness, and Lakshmi. She is everywhere respected, worshipped, and reverenced. Sleep. The Siddha Yogini is the wife of Rudradeva, who is of the nature of Kalagni, the universal conflagration at the breakup of the world. All the jivas spent their nights with her. The twilights, night and day, are the wives of Kala, time. If they were not, the Creator even would not be able to reckon them. Hunger and thirst are the wives of Lobha, covetousness. Covetousness. They are thanked, respected, and worshipped by the whole world. Had they not lived, the whole world would have merged ever in an ocean of anxieties. Splendor and burning capacity are the wives of Tejas, fire. Without these, the Lord of the world could not have created and established order in this universe. Death and old age are the daughters of the Kala, and the dear wives of Javara, the disease. Without these, all the creations would come to an end. The Tandra, drowsiness, lassitude, and pretty satisfaction of the daughters of Nidra, sleep. And they are the dear wives of Sukha, pleasure. They are present everywhere in this world, O best of Munis. Sraddha, faith, and Bhakti, devotion, are the wives of Vairagyam, dispassion. For then all the persons can become liberated while living, Jivan Muktas. Besides these, there are Aditi, the mother of the gods, Surabhi, mother of cows, Diti, the mother of the dechas, Kadru, the mother of the Nagas, serpents, Vinata, the mother of Garuda, the prince of birds, and Danu, the mother of the Danavas. All are very useful for the purpose of creation, but these all are the parts of Mula Prakriti. Now I will mention some of the other parts of Prakriti. Here, Rohini, the wife of the moon, Sajna, the wife of the sun, Satra Rupa, the wife of Manu, Sachi, the wife of Indra, Tara, the wife of Brihaspati, Arundhati, the wife of Vashishta, Anasuya, the wife of Atri, Devahuti, the wife of Kardama, Parasuti, the wife of Daksha, Menaka, the mind-born daughter of the Pitris and the mother of Ambika, Lopamudra, Kunti, the wife of Kuvera, the wife of Varuna, Bhindyavali, the wife of the king Bali, Damayanti, Yashoda, Devaki, Gandhari, Draupadi, Sevya, Satyavati, the chaste and noble wife of Brisabhanu, and the mother of Radha, Mandidara, Kaushalya, Kauravi, Supadra, Revati, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Laksmana, Jambavati, Nagnajati, Mitrabinda, Laksana, Rukmini, Sita, the Lakshmi incarnate, Kali, Yojana Gandha, the chaste mother of Vyasa, the chaste mother of Vyasa, Usa, the daughter of Vana, her companion, Chetra Lekha, Prabhavati, Bhanumati, the Sati Mayavati, Renuka, the mother of Parashurama, Rohini, the mother of Balarama, Ekananda, and the sister of Shri Krishna, Sati Durga, and many other ladies are the parts of Prakriti, and all the female sex everywhere in the universe are all come from the parts of Prakriti. So to insult any woman is to insult the Prakriti. If one worships a chaste Brahmin woman who has her husband and son living with clothing, ornaments, and sandal paste, etc., one worships as it were Prakriti. If any Vipra worships a virgin girl, 8 years old, with clothing, ornaments, and sandal paste, know that he has worshipped the Prakriti Devi. The best, middling, and worst are all sprung from Prakriti. Those women that are sprung from Sattva-guna are all very good-natured and chaste. Those that are sprung from Rajaguna are middling and very much attached to worldly enjoyments and do their selfish ends. And those that are sprung from Tamaguna are recognized as worst and belonging to the unknown families. They are very scurrilous, cheats, ruining their families, fond of their own free ways, quarrelsome, and no seconds are fond equal to them. Such women become prostitutes in this world and apsaras in the heavens. The hermaphrodites are parts of Prakriti, but they are of the nature of Tamagunas. Thus I have described to you the nature of Prakriti. So in this Punya Bhumi Bharata Varsa, to worship the Devi is by all means desirable. In days past by, the king Surata worshipped the Mula Prakriti Durga, the destructrix of all evils. Then again, Sri Ramachandra worshipped her when he wanted to kill Ramana. Since then, her worship is extant in the three worlds. She was first born as the honorable daughter of Daksha. She destroyed the whole host of Daityas and Danavas. It was she who, hearing the abusive words uttered against her husband at the yajna by Daksha, her father gave up her body and took up again her birth. She took her birth in the womb of Menaka and got again Pashupati as her husband. And her two sons, Kartika and Ganesha, born to her. Kartika was the Asna part of Narayana, and Ganapati was Sri Krishna himself, the Lord of Radha. O Devarishi, after the two sons, Lakshmi Devi came out of Durga, Mangala Raja. The king Mars first worshipped her. Since then, all in the three worlds began to worship her, whether they are devas or men. The king Asvapati first worshipped Savarthi Devi, and since then the devas, munis, all began to worship her. When the Devi Saraswati was born, the Bhagavan Brahma first worshipped her. Next, the greatest muni, devas, all began to worship her. On the full moon night of the month of Kartik, it was Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the highest spirit, that worshipped first of all the Devi Radha within the Rasa Mandalam, the enclosure within which the Rasa Leela was performed, the circular dance in the region Goloka. Then, under the command of Shri Krishna, all the gopas, cowherds, gopis, all the boys, girls, Surabhi, the queen of the race of the cows, and the other cows worshipped her. So since her worship by the inhabitants of Goloka, by Brahma and the other devas and the munis, all began to worship ever Shri Radha with devotion and incense, light and various other offerings. On earth she was first worshipped by Suyajna in the sacred field of Bharatvarsa under the direction of Bhagavan Mahadeva. Subsequently, under the command of the Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the highest spirit, the inhabitants of the three worlds began to worship her. The munis, with great devotion, with incense, flowers, and various other offerings, worship always the Devi Radha. O child Narada, besides these, all the other Devis that have issued from Prakriti Devi are all worshipped, so much so that the village deities in the forest deities, and in the cities, the city deities are worshipped. Thus I have described to you all, according to the Sastras, the glorious lives of the Devi Prakriti and her parts. What more do you want to hear? Here ends the first chapter under the description of Prakriti. In the 9th book of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Palitrakshma. Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Tuya Bandhu Shachasakadu. Jai Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai.